Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with the CTV News Update. Well, last month, Patricia Vallone brought us a two-part special report on the uptick of foreclosures in Maryland, particularly in Prince George's County. Since then, she's learned about a case of an alleged foreclosure fraud right here in the county. Tonight, she brings us that exclusive.
Last month, we reported on a growing local foreclosure crisis. Some foreclosures are the result of the recent pandemic. Others are from questionable loans suddenly becoming due now that there is more equity to cash in on. But today, we bring you an alleged case of outright fraud and how the homeowner is fighting to keep his property.
I went to the courthouse, I filled out the paper, told the judge, hey, listen, somebody's trying to take my house. And they just kind of just brushed it off, and it just started from there. It was just unraveling like strong arm. I've never seen anything like it in Prince George County.
It was just about a year ago when Robert Jones first started getting harassed about late mortgage bills, even though he knew his payments were up to date.
So they started showing up here. What was going on?
Coming to my house, the Ring cameras were going crazy. My kids were here. My son's license to carry. I'm like, hey, calm down. Hey, he said random people were coming to the house. They were trying to we don't even have a house address, so we're trying to figure out how they're figuring out where the house is.
More than a decade prior, Jones had refinanced a loan that he thought included his second mortgage. Now, 15 years later, notices of foreclosure are arriving in his mailbox, despite having never received a bill from that second mortgage company.
Hello, Mr. Jones.
Hi, Mr. Jones. Good seeing you.
Not knowing where to turn, he called upon two foreclosure experts to help.
When he was receiving all of these notices, the notice of intent to foreclose, he went to mediation, it was unsuccessful, and then they're moving forward, sending him notifications that they're going to sell his property at foreclosure, and then that's when he reached out to me.
Jacobson spotted inconsistencies in the foreclosure paperwork right away, including Robert Jones's signatures.
And so this is the one that they forged.
Yeah, completely looks different. But fraudulent signatures weren't the only issue.
This was actually filed in land records, and you see the numbers up here, the librafolio numbers. There's none here. And this they just call a deed of trust. Here somebody wrote in refinance. When a document is filed in land records, it has what's called a LIBR, and a folio number, which is the section and the page number. Well, the document that they filed in the order to docket, that's supposed to be a true and accurate copy of the one filed in land records, did not contain a librafolio number. And as I started to compare, I printed out the one from land records and I printed out the one from the order to docket. And there were so many things that were not the same.
With a long list of inconsistencies, the foreclosure experts immediately suspected fraud and filed a motion to vacate the foreclosure sale.
Under Maryland law, you can raise fraud at any time. So therefore, in the exceptions, we think it's a proper venue for us to do that at this time. It's one of the worst cases of fraud that Beth and I have seen in our entire decade or so together.
Robert Jones says this past year has taken an emotional toll on him, worrying if he will get evicted from his home.
I haven't had any sleep. My nights are reckless. I haven't been able to work. My schedule is off balance. My back is killing me because every time I hear any noises, I'm at the window, because here's someone who's been allowed by the Prince George County court system to take my house, strong arm, just come in, no paperwork, no nothing, all fabricated, and they hit the gavel and it's done.
After the dust settles and after hopefully we can save Mr. Jones's house, then there could be some offensive tactics that we would use in order to get him recovery of attorney's fees and other damages that he's mentioned.
Beth Jacobson says no other county in the state gives foreclosures a rubber stamp of approval without proper vetting.
The most egregious thing that we found was that the deed of trust was totally fabricated. And the court system, Prince George's County and every single court in Maryland, is supposed to have a screening system where there's a clerk that's supposed to look at the order to docket documents that come in and screen them. All they had to do was look at the deed of trust in this order to docket that was filed and look at the top and see that there was no librafolio number, and they would know that that is not a deed of trust from land records.
If I didn't catch this, I would have lost my whole home, just like that.
Now, Robert Jones's case will be heard in Prince George's Circuit Court. No date has yet been set for the hearing. For CTV News, I'm Patricia Vallone.
And Patricia will continue to follow this issue and bring you any updates on this foreclosure crisis. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. More news in just a bit. Stay tuned.
As Americans, there's one thing we can all agree on: the promise of our Constitution and the hope that liberty and justice is for all people. For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought on behalf of millions of Americans, protecting our vote and our voice, freedom to love who we love, the right to choose, and much more.
Learn how ACLU's defending free speech and all our civil liberties at myaclu.org.
A Hyattsville man is sentenced today after being convicted of sexually abusing his stepdaughter. 63-year-old Quentin Perry will spend the rest of his life plus 25 years behind bars. Officials say that Perry abused his stepdaughter from the age of 8 until she was 13 years old. The state's attorney held a press conference today to talk about the case.
Very serious and very lengthy sentence. The judge told Mr. Perry that he had not only taken away the victim's childhood, but affected her for the rest of her life, and also affected the lives of everyone in the family.
It wasn't just her and her mother who was abused, but her mother also had 2 sons who he also abused. And now one of the sons want therapy as well.
And Brave Boy is encouraging victims of abuse to contact the authorities. Well, a man was struck and killed by a CSX train in College Park last night. It happened at around 8 o'clock near 54th Avenue and Lakeland Road. CSX Transportation said it's unclear why the man was on the tracks at the time. Well, Prince George's police are investigating a shooting at a gas station in Riverdale. Officers were called to the Marathon gas station on the 6700 block of Riverdale Road just after noon yesterday. A man was found shot and in critical condition. No word yet on a motive or suspect in this case. If you have any information on the incident, you're asked to contact police. And the Prince George's school system gives an update on Monday's cyber attack. PGCTV says its IT team was able to regain control of the system within the first 12 hours. The school system says it continues to investigate, along with a cybersecurity experts, how the attack disrupted the system. It's now analyzing current and future data loss. Employees are encouraged to use free credit monitoring to determine if their data was breached. And she was known around the world for her participation in and work with the Special Olympics. 52-year-old Desiree Holland has died. Holland has competed in the Special Olympics since 1979. She did track and field and aquatics and cycling, and she was really well known for taking part in the polar plunge in the Chesapeake Bay, which she did for 19 years. She even did the super plunge, which meant she went into the water 24 times on the hour over the course of 24 hours.
She absolutely, her smile, I mean, that's what most people remember about her, her smile and her absolute joy of living.
Her involvement with the law enforcement torch run. She's been to international conferences and she's spoken at international conferences. So she's met law enforcement officers from literally around the world. And her involvement in the torch run here in Prince George's and in the state, hundreds and hundreds of police officers know her well.
Holland passed away on August 4th of complications from Alzheimer's. Her visitation is set for Monday at Gash's Funeral Home in Hyattsville from 4 p.m. to 5:30 and 6 to 8. The visitation and celebration of life service is set for Tuesday at the First United Methodist Church of Hyattsville on Bellcrest Road. This viewing there, 9:30. The service begins at 11 o'clock. We'll have more on Desiree next week. And stay tuned, more news after the break.
What's up, sports fans? And coming up in a bit, transfer player Tyrese Chambers talks about how excited he is to be a part of the UMD football team. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes it seems the crises just keep coming for children. COVID, war, drought, and famine. They can seem downright relentless. But you know what? So can our response. When helping children unites us, we are a force to be reckoned with. Where there is help, there is hope. It's why UNICEF won't stop, ever.
Prince George's police arrest 2 men suspected of a string of armed robberies in the county this past week. They are 18-year-old Evander Lozano and 19-year-old Christian Carranza, both of District Heights. Investigators say they responded to the report of a armed robbery, on the 4800 block of Silver Hill Road this past Wednesday at about 1:30 in the morning. Within minutes, police say there were 2 other armed robberies nearby. The men were spotted by police in Nabs following a pursuit on the 7600 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. Police say the 2 are also linked to a 4th armed robbery on Branch Avenue that occurred on August 13th. And the man involved in a road rage incident last Sunday in front of Joint Base Andrews has died. He's been identified as 44-year-old Rogelio Sanchez Gomez of Suitland. Police received a call for a black BMW traveling along Suitland Road that shots were being fired from the vehicle. They pursued the vehicle, but the driver of the BMW lost control of the car, striking the car that Sanchez Gomez and 2 juveniles were in. He was taken to an area hospital where he died on August 15th. The investigation is ongoing. And mosquitoes in Laurel test positive for the West Nile virus in 2 locations. Those include High Point Trail at Overlook Way and Oxford Drive at North Lake Court. Maryland's Department of Agriculture will be spraying the areas on August 20th. Most people don't get sick from West Nile, but about 20% do develop symptoms like headache, fever, muscle, and joint aches. Officials say remove any standing water to prevent mosquitoes from laying their eggs. Also avoid time outdoors during dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. And school is around the corner, and this Sunday, a local business owner wants to make sure Prince George's children are going back in style. Nate Crittenden owns N-Style Hair Grooming in the county. There are a total of 4 locations in Bowie, Laurel, Capitol Heights, and Greenbelt. This is their 2nd annual back-to-school block party, and Crittenden feels it's important to give back to the community that's kept him in business.
We will have a lot of games, toys, like I said, backpacks for the kids from kindergarten through 12th grade. We will be feeding 250 families. This is why I decided to get together with some other organizations to help me put this here together for the kids, because most people are just taking, but we got to learn how to give back.
The free event is set for this Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Ritchie Station Marketplace in Capitol Heights. For additional information or to find out how to donate, reach out to the email on your screen.
Okay, everybody, it's time for your Friday sports page. The UMD football team has a lot of new players joining them this season, and one of them is wide receiver Tyrese Chambers. Chambers previously played at FIU before making the decision to come to Maryland, and the Baltimore native is looking forward to being a part of this offense.
It's been fun, man. It's been exciting. Like I said before, this has been a receiver-friendly offense since Coach Locke's got here. And it's not going to stop no time soon, man. And that was one of the reasons why I came here, playing with a quarterback like Talib. With the guys that I have around me also help me become a better player as well. So it's exciting. It's an exciting offense to be in.
Chambers and the rest of the Terps will go up against Towson in their season opener on September 2nd. And wrapping up your Friday sports page, the Department of Parks and Recreation, Prince George's County, and the Washington Commanders are all collaborating to bring a flag football league to the county. The league is for children ranging pre-K to the 8th grade. To register, you can visit the website on your screen, and the deadline to register is August 31st. And that is your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
And that's our newscast for tonight. Be sure to catch us on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Good night.